Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Thursday and welcome back. I hope you're having a great day so far. So today's video is going to be another chit chat style video in my gray hair motivation series. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about makeup and gray hair. I tend to get a number of questions from women who are either in the process of transitioning to gray or have completely transitioned their hair, and they ask for advice on what to do with their makeup once they have gone through this process. And I think there are definitely a lot of people out there who have a lot of different types of opinions on what you should do makeup-wise. Whether it is wearing more makeup because, you need to kind of counteract the lack of pigment in your hair. And so you have to try to make your features stand out by using bolder colors or just applying more makeup than you normally would. There is advice out there about keeping everything just really neutral so that you don't look like maybe you're trying too hard. There is advice on what to do with your brows, whether it is to, tint them gray to match your hair or to keep your original brow color that you had that matched your natural hair color before you went gray. Making sure that you wear a bold lip every day so that you really stand out. All sorts of advice out there. I feel like my take on this is a little bit different in that, first of all, I don't think you have to wear makeup at all. I choose to wear makeup because I think it's fun. I like playing with my features. I really enjoy the process of putting makeup on every single day, but I don't think that it's a necessity. And I don't think if you are someone who naturally isn't drawn to applying makeup, that you should feel any pressure after your hair transitions to gray that all of a sudden now you need to start putting on foundation or that you need to start wearing blush or bright lipsticks or any of that stuff. If you don't like makeup and you don't want to wear it, you don't have to. I think that's like the first thing that I want to stress. And then my second big thing is that if you do want to wear makeup, I don't think you should necessarily have to change your makeup look up from what you were doing before you transitioned. Makeup to me is something that is incredibly personal. The way that I do my makeup, some people might think is very appropriate or looks polished or is a good option for me. And there are some people who may think, nope, that doesn't look good on you at all with your coloring, or, things are clashing, you got too much going on. Like, there's all sorts of opinions about makeup, right? Like, there's people who only strictly adhere to the makeup rules, and there are people that just kind of go crazy and do whatever they want and get really creative with it. And I am just of the mindset that you should just play with makeup and do what makes you feel the most confident and the most beautiful. And if that is not wearing any makeup at all, or if it's doing like a full face every single day, I think it's so individual and so personal that you should just do whatever floats your boat. I don't think anybody else should tell you what to do. If you are looking for opinions and you are trying to, find a look that you think jives with your coloring, your hair color, your skin tone, all of that stuff, then, I think there are a lot of different channels out there who do a lot of really great tutorials. And I would definitely suggest just, subscribing to a few different YouTube beauty gurus, YouTube beauty accounts, whatever you want to call them, and just kind of watch how they do their makeup. And if something really connects with you, then that would be a great person to continue to watch for further inspiration. The fantastic thing about makeup, you guys, is that it always washes off. Like, yes, you can do permanent makeup. So for example, for me, I decided to get my brows micro shaded because in the early 90s, when I started middle school, it was the time of let's pluck the brows out completely, right? Like very thin brows were in the 90s, and I maintained that look through the early 2000s, and I basically killed the little brow follicles. They just didn't grow back. So for me, it made sense to get micro shading done. But I personally would not get anything else tattooed on my face at all. I wouldn't do permanent eyeliner. I wouldn't do permanent lips or anything like that, just because I like to switch that stuff up, right? Like for me, the brows made sense because that was a huge inconvenience every day. But the other stuff wouldn't really make sense for me. And so I think you just have to look at your lifestyle and see what makes sense for you. And, you know, and as far as like, you know, connecting with different people here on YouTube, there are so many amazing channels here that just provide great tutorials for women of any age. So definitely it's worth going down that rabbit hole and looking for some inspiration there. But, you know, I don't think that you should necessarily only stick to certain eyeshadow colors. I don't think that you necessarily have to stick to just neutrals or cool tones once you go gray. In fact, today I did a very warm look on my face. Yeah, naturally, I don't gravitate towards a lot of warmer colors. When I was blonde, I think warm shades did look very flattering on me, but I didn't even like warm shades back then. I've always naturally tended to prefer cooler tone shades and neutrals. So I love me some taupes. I love rosy shades. I love plums, purples, you know, all of that kind of stuff. That's kind of where I naturally tend to go to. But I also think there is value in having a nice warm look every now and then because, you know, it totally changes the way that my face looks. And I love playing with that, you know. For me, makeup is super fun. But I don't think that you should put any undue pressure on yourself to necessarily change everything once you decide to go gray. You know, if you are looking to kind of experiment with your makeup a little bit, and you maybe your entire life you've only ever worn warm shades, go to the drugstore, get yourself an eyeshadow palette from MELANIEP or CoverGirl or NYX. There's lots of great cruelty-free options at the drugstore. And, you know, get yourself a $10, $15 eyeshadow palette with a color story that is maybe the exact opposite of what you normally gravitate towards, and just start playing with that. And who knows, you might discover like, oh yeah, I prefer taupes over, you know, sunset colors at this point. Or maybe you try those taupes and you're like, yep, nope, I still like my warm browns. And so just keep going with the warm browns, because I mean, what's someone gonna tell you, that they don't like your makeup? Oh well. I think, you know, I'm sure if you have gray hair, you've probably had someone say to you, I don't like your gray hair. And people aren't going to like you for a number of reasons in life, right? I think that is handled very differently by a lot of different people. For me, I have learned to just brush that stuff off. I've gotten so many insults about my hair over the years that for me, it's just like, whatever, you know, like, I do what I want. I'm not changing my hair color. It's not going anywhere. It makes me happy. And if it doesn't make you happy, don't look at me. This is a choice. You don't have to like interact with me. You don't have to look at my hair. And I don't care that you think I look like an 80-year-old woman. That's whatever. But in terms of the makeup, guys, really, truly, just play around with it. You know, if you think you want to change your makeup up because your hair color is different now and you think that looks better on you by changing your makeup, do that. But I don't think you have to listen to any of those rules that are out there. When I was kind of starting to think about this video, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna Google like what to do with your makeup when you have gray hair, or like what should you do with your makeup after your hair transitions to gray. And there were so many different blog posts and, you know, articles that came up that had all sorts of suggestions, which I think are definitely well-meaning. You know, if you're completely clueless about it, then I think articles like that can be helpful. But I also think it's just important to do what makes you happy. Just, you know, try playing around with some makeup looks. If something really floats your boat, there you go. That's the makeup look you should go with. But I don't think you have to wear a bold red lip every day once you decide to go gray. I don't think that you have to only use, you know, cool toned eyeshadows. I don't think you necessarily have to change your brows. Do what makes you happy. So yeah, today, lots of brown happening here. So since this is kind of abnormal from what I typically do, I thought, you know, for this video, I would do the opposite of what I normally gravitate towards. And so I busted out my Smashbox Cover Shot Minimalist Eye Palette. And what I actually like about this one, I'll put links to this down below, by the way. It's got some shimmers in it, and it also has some really nice mattes, but it has a quad in here that is very warm toned. So these are the shades that I used in my crease today. And then I use this matte shade here on my lid. And then over here, you have a quad that is a little bit more neutral toned, which I think is kind of neat. So, and these are definitely probably a lot more affordable when it comes to like higher end eyeshadow palettes. They're very small. They're definitely great for traveling, but they're also like just under $30. So I think the price point is kind of nice for something like this because it's great quality. It's definitely better quality than drugstore eyeshadows, but they're also not like crazy expensive. So I think this, if you've never tried a high-end eyeshadow palette, would be a great place to start if you have gray hair, because you have some options here to kind of play with the two different palettes, see what color story you like best on you. But yeah, these are fantastic palettes. Also, I wore a much warmer lipstick today than I normally do. And this is actually from Merit. They recently came out with a new lipstick line called their Signature Lip Lightweight Lipstick. Now, in full disclosure, Merit did reach out to me and they offered me the opportunity to try some of their makeup products. In the past, I have kind of avoided Merit a little bit because a lot of their products were cream-based and that just isn't the best fit for my oily skin type, but they are definitely expanding their makeup line. So they allowed me to select a few things and I picked out a few of their lipsticks. I have some more shades that I'll show you guys tomorrow. Really like this formula. It is in fact super lightweight. It is very creamy and hydrating on the lips, and it's also buildable. So this is the shade Slip, which is a very, very brown, I mean, you can see it on my lips. It's very warm, very like a beautiful rosy brown, I would say. Typically, I prefer my Melanie Mauves, but you know what? I still think that this warm look works for me. And it works because I like it. It makes me happy, you know. While this isn't what I normally prefer, it's definitely, I don't know, I like playing with makeup. I think it's a great way to change up your look. And the beautiful thing is that if you don't like it, you can just wash it off at the end of the night. I will put a link to where you can find these two things in the description box down below. And a big thanks to Merit for allowing me to try out some of their products. The lipsticks are really fantastic, you guys. Merit is also available at Sephora as well. But I'll talk a little bit more about the Merit makeup stuff tomorrow in Friday Faves and Flops. Friday Faves and Flops, because I've kind of been testing it out for a little bit now. But yeah, so me and my warm makeup look today are going to get some stuff done around the house. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope that this kind of inspired you to, I don't know, if you want to change your makeup look up, do it, but I don't think that you have to. If you have something that has worked for you for years and it makes you happy and you feel beautiful, do that. I don't think that you should let anyone tell you that you have to change things up. I have a number of like eyeshadow tutorials here on my channel. If you like a lot of my eyeshadow looks, it's called the Perfect Neutral Eye Tutorials. If you just Google that, or look it up here actually in the search bar on my channel, it will pop up a number of videos and you can kind of see how I have done my eye makeup in the past, and different color combinations that I've done that I think look really good on me. Definitely take a look at those videos, but there are lots of women out there who do really fantastic tutorials that might give you some really, really great inspiration and help you find a look that you really like after you transition to gray. But I don't think there are necessarily any rules, especially not with makeup. Just do what makes you happy. All right, you guys, I hope that this was helpful and that it was motivating if you are going through the transition process, or if you have transitioned your hair and you're just kind of, you know, trying to expand your horizons a little bit and learn to embrace this. Because I know it can be hard. I mean, it's not as easy for everyone as it was for me to get excited about my gray hair. And so I just hope that this series kind of keeps you going if you are teetering on the edge of whether to, you know, decide to go gray or not. It's been a good thing for me and I would definitely recommend it, but you do have to be ready for it. So anyway, have a great rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.